Hello, my name's Amy and I have been doing some work in Gloucester for Striker Light and Gloucester City Homes, and with the help of the wonderful Art Shape we have managed to deliver some arts and crafts packs to your houses. In the packs there's a multitude of little bits and pieces, just a little taste session, get you all creative, with the idea that we can then decorate windows in the estate and make it look a bit more jolly in this horrible winter time, like a winter wonderland. Right, the first thing that we're going to make is going to be a stained glass window for your windows. This is a design that's designed by one of the Gloucester City Homes tenants, Katrina, and we can use that. I will show you how to do that one. Otherwise you can make your own up, just do whatever you fancy. Right, in your pack you will have a piece of black sheet paper. Firstly, you'll need a ruler. I guess you'll have a straight edge of some sort in your house. Otherwise, in your packs, you will be getting a piece of cardboard. You could use that as well. Let's use that. Right, get your pencil, which comes in your pack, and just about 1.5 centimetres from the edge, we're just going to draw a basic line around with your pencil. You will be able to see your pencil on the black paper, and it will be on the back of your image, so don't worry. You won't see it on your window. Right, get in there. Right, now you have a piece of black paper with a line around it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get a couple of different sized circles. We're going to use quite a nice big one. We're going to use this dish, and that will be the big one down here. So we're going to do it around about here and do it quite big. If you lean your pencil out, you get a larger circle. Doesn't have to be perfect. If you feel confident, you can do this freehand. Then we want a medium-sized one up here. So we'll do a smaller one up here. So that's the second one. Lean back. And then we need a little tiny one down the bottom. So we'll put a little one down here. If you can make things touch, then they'll be firmer when you eventually make your window. So we'll do a little tiny one down here. Anything you have, just to make it roughly a circle. There you go, you've got your 3 circles. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to line them up here. So we've got these funky little bits that make them look a bit like Christmas tree decorations. So we're going to add those onto the top of our balls. Just freehand. Just like a little sort of funny shape on the top. Right. I'm going to make mine a little bit different. Right. And then down here, in this corner here, I'm going to be putting a funny little shaped one here. So there we go, I'm going to do it around that way for you. So I've got 3 balls and mine are in slightly different places. From the top of each ball, you want to draw, you can do this freehand as well, or you can do quite thick lines, because you're going to have to cut them with scissors in a minute, which will be a challenge, no doubt. So they can be quite big. You can do them by freehand if you like. I think it looks nicer sometimes to be done like that. And then you've got the ball down there. And the next step is to cut around these marks carefully. So, and if there's any children involved, please help them out with this one. If you have a craft knife, if you're creative, you can do it with a craft knife. But please, again, be careful. Otherwise, you know, scissors make a fast job. You will have a pair of scissors in your packs. I have cut out shapes we need. In your packs, you will have some plastic wallets. These are perfect for the job. So what you need to do is get your scissors and cut along the side here, so you get it opened flat. Right, then I would suggest that you put it on top of your design, like that. Okay? Now what I might do is, just for belt and braces, if you do have any tape, you don't have, there won't be any in your packs, but just in case you want them, you can just take that down. I am going to put on my apron, because also I don't want to ruin any clothes with PVA glue. It's a bit old and rubbishy, but it's okay. So now we're going to do our stained glass bit. So what I've done is I've got some tissue paper which I've cut into different colours, but you can just use tissue paper like this, which I'm going to use first of all at the top. You can tear that up. So you need a receptacle. You can use I use glass because it's easy to clean, but you can use any old yogurt pots or anything like that. Tip your PVA in, which you will get a little sachet of in your packs. I like to water it down a little bit, usually 50-50. For this you don't need glue to be very strong. So you just add in some water and give it a good stir around. You should have a brush in your craft pack too, but again, if you have any little paintbrushes around the house or anything like that, you can use whatever you've got really. Just mix it in like you would with a sauce as soon as you can see when it's glued down. Right, so now we're going to go straight onto the back of our plastic and we can see where we need the windows. So I'm going to tear up a few pieces of my lovely turquoise, being turquoise is my favourite colour. And you've got to make sure you go over a little bit onto the black and just literally put your paper down and go over the top. It's really easy. You don't need to use too much glue and make it too wet, because it will take too long to dry. So this one is the rabbit, which we did, and I used a different material other than the wallets that I had in clothes with you guys. There is all sorts of different plastics. Some of the plastics, it doesn't peel off. When this dries, probably overnight, you're going to be able to peel it off, and you'll just be able to peel it off in one go. And on this window, tissue paper, and that's your front, and that's just tissue paper. But when I used a different sort of a backing, because you can make things up as you go along as well, you can add to the crafts materials that we've given you. So this one is deciding it doesn't want to come off, but that's okay, because I am going to just put it down where I did it, on this side. Put the rabbit down here. You can see I did his ears pink. And I'm going to stick him on with a bit of glue, PVA if you've got any left, or just glue it down. And then I'm going to trim it around the edge. Right then, the next thing we're going to do today is to show you how to make little stars that you can hang in your window. They're quite hardy, and they're made again with PVA. So how we're going to start these is you will get yourself in your pack a piece of sturdy cardboard. Then in your craft packs again you will have a sheet of paper with a star on it, a nice 5-pointed star, or you can draw your own star. It's up to you. The star has numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They will become apparent later. So how we do this is we're going to be transferring the star onto the cardboard. We need some pins. You will have 5 pins in your pack. So we'll start by putting that one in there, making a little hole. Then we need to make a hole at 4, 2, just make little holes all the way around your star picture. Right, here we go. Then you'll get, you can't see them, 5 little holes, which will tell you where to put your 5 pins. So we're going to put one there. And number 5. Do be careful if it goes all the way down, you don't want to ruin your tables, just be careful. You can always put a cutting board underneath, or chopping board or something if you want. And I would write number 1 at the top. Number 2 is down here. Number 3 is over here. I can never remember, and I've done this lots of times. Number 4 is here. And number 5 down at the bottom. There you've got your 5 pins with your 5 numbers. Here we have our ball of yarn, all ready to go. It's very loose, so it doesn't get tangled up. Leave that up there. Then we want to bring over our lovely bowl of gloopy glue. Again, you can water it down, make sure it's watered down. You might want to water it down a little bit more for this project, this part of the project. Depends how much you've got, but basically you want to get it all squidgy and full of glue. Because the harder it is, the easier, harder it is when it dries, the easier it will be to make the bit that comes after. Right, so find the end. This is where you need a table covering as well. I'm going to do this the right way up so I can explain it. I'll get confused. So you start with number 1 and you just lay your yarn across it, and then this bit you have to be quite gentle, not do it too hard. And you go from number 2 up to number 3. Then you go round the pin and you come back to number 4, and then you go down to number 5 and then back up to number 1, and you'll get your star beginning to form. Okay? If this is a bit sticky for your fingers, if you have trouble with this, you can wind your string around first before you put your glue on, and paint the glue on with a paintbrush. Right, just leave the tail. You can tuck it under the next one if you can do it without it being too faffy. And there you go. I always have a little fiddle just to make sure they're touching each other so they stick together properly, but they pretty much will. This glue is pretty rock solid. So there you go, that's what you've got on your board. And you just put that to one side and forget about it for about 24 hours. This one is one I made the other day, which is now dry. So we can move our glue out of the way, our pencil, put the pins down so the cat doesn't eat them, and pull your pins out. Careful where you put them. I'm going to put them in the board so they don't go on the floor and in my foot. Here we go. Take them out carefully. I put some cling film on this one just to try different ideas to see if it, but this one's one I made the other day and it does come off easy, but the other one should come off okay on the cardboard. Maybe raise it up a little bit, or like I say, cover it with cling film. So you've got a star. We can choose another yarn here, pull a bit off. You'll have some yarn in your, but you know, if you haven't got yarn, then think outside the box. Use old t-shirts and cut them up and make like strips strips out of those. You can use anything sparkly, you can dip your wool in glitter if you want to. That's quite nice. Go across the middle, just make it a bit interesting with a few other colours. And then when you get to the end, just tuck it underneath one of the ends. Here we go, you can tuck that under there. You can glue it if you like, or it'll just stay, you're not going to wear it or do anything with it. There you go. And if you've got some bright colours will look lovely on it as well. I'll just do a small piece. And you can again hold that and wrap round. And I think I'll do these just on the prongs. Sort of not really any way to do it wrong, really. It's your work. It's your windows. You're jazzing up to be part of your communities. So just have fun, really. Enjoy. Think of Tony Hart as you do it. If any of you are old enough to remember who he is, there you go. So I did a bit of colour. Happy days. Stars. Right, next. The next idea is to make balls. At the end of it all, I'm going to try and get this balloon out of here and we'll see what happens. In your packs you will have a couple of balloons. I would suggest we blow them up, not make them too hard. I'm going to use Vaseline, which you've probably got in your cupboard, maybe. And if you don't have some, please don't feel you have to go and buy any. You can use margarine. Cheap cooking margarine, some sort of sticky coconut oil if you've got coconut oil in your house, or you could use lard if you use lard. I don't know how nice it would be to put on. I'm sure you could find some gloves to put it on with. So basically you just rub the Vaseline so that we're not going to get the yarn stuck to the balloon. Tried a few different things. This wool is quite thin. You do need to do quite a lot to it. I have done a bigger one here. A nice big one. And that one I used strips of fabric. So I just literally tore them up. So you start at an end and you just tear. And you get all the strips and you can cover it in any old clothes that you're going to throw away, basically. You can unpick woolly hats, you can use garden string, cord, cotton, anything that soaks up the glue would be really good and stay really hard. But just have a little experiment. You've got 3 balloons and probably enough yarn to make one. So your other 2 balloons, you can find something around the house. Right, so I'm going to tie a little knot in the end of here and onto the top, and then I am just going to go around my balloon like this. It's really hard the first couple of turns, as you can see, so you might want to go up and down a bit and use your middle bit there at the top to go round to make it easier. What are you doing, Mr. Red Yarn? So we just keep going, and the more you do, the easier it becomes. It is a bit awkward the first couple of goes around. So I do it this way to start with. Although it's easier with the Vaseline because it sticks. So you get the idea. You just want to put on as much as you can, rolling around your balloon. Now you've covered your balloon in as much yarn as you've got, or as much things as you can find around the house to do it with, we're going to go back to our beloved PVA glue. I think if I ever need a new job, I should go for a PVA glue saleswoman. I think that might be a good thing. So a nice bit of glue in there. And again, it is really nice to mix a little bit of water in. Makes it go a bit further, makes it stick to the balloon less, because we've still got the anticipation of whether we're going to get it off the balloon. This is full of fraught danger, this craft. Here we go. In your lovely craft bag, you will also have a sponge. I found the sponge was the easiest way of doing this. So you've got your release agent on your balloon so we don't get it stuck, let's hope. And we've also got a sponge with watered down PVA, and we are sponging the PVA on. The wool will be porous. Most of the things you use will be porous. It's better if it is, because then it soaks up the glue and it goes nice and hard at the end, which is good. That gives you the idea. You just carry on sponging that through until it gets nice and soaking wet. Now, another reason for putting the balloon in the bowl is that glue will gradually go down and it will dry from the top and it will get wet and it will still be wet at the bottom and it will all go into the carton below. So be careful when you put it to dry, because it will end up spreading glue everywhere, really. Right, let's have a look if we can do this one. Now this one I did over 24 hours ago, and I did it with the Vaseline, so fingers crossed. But just in case, you get your pencil, and the end of your pencil, give it a little poke. So you can see, you can get your fingers in there. What we want to do is make sure the balloon is not stuck. It just comes away. It's so much easier with the Vaseline. Oh, it feels quite good. It's quite a... Obviously don't press it too hard, you don't want to burst the balloon into place. Yeah, I think there's the risk of just popping it would be that it's just going to, you're not going to see where it's stuck and it's going to collapse your ball. So let's try tweaking it. Oh, I'm so nervous, it's taking me so long. Just cut a little hole in here and it gradually goes down. So you can check it out and see whether, no, it's coming down nicely. That's cool. Let's cut this top bit off here. If you are worried that your string isn't going to be tough enough, the other nice thing to do is to PVA it one more time. So give it 2 coats of PVA, that's another option. Gently, you can pull your balloon out. And look what you've got. How lovely is that? I think there's an end there. Yeah, there's an end there. So we can hang it up. How cute. Happy days. There you go, some little Christmas decorations. And like, get creative, make whatever you like. Happy days. Thank you.